Hello everyone and welcome back once again to Panzer Corps 2. I'm playing Leningrad scenario. Let's continue where we left off. We need to break through the last couple of defensive lines, and meanwhile... Yeah, somebody, I think it was the doctor, put up a very interesting post indeed, that if you load a game you can't see what the weather is next turn, but I could see it before playing, so it should be sunny on the next turn, but you can't see that, and that's a bit weird. I agree. Anyway, not really sure how much movement. Right. So the goal is to encircle this strong point as well, because otherwise it will take 10 years to take it down. These guys can just slowly relax and get cut off. Okay. Don't know how much damage they would potentially do against my artillery, but the maximum is 4. So I'm feeling relatively safe. Meanwhile, I can actually repair those guys and just do this. If they want to get out and attack these in the fortifications with artillery backup while they are suppressed for, what, 2 turns, while getting a 10% accuracy penalty, I'm fine. I would be completely fine, and this basically eliminates their outer defensive lines on that side entirely. So I am pleased with that outcome. Those guys bite the dust. But I kind of need to get a unit in here. And the reason for that is that if I put a unit in here, then I can encircle these 2 as well. That's pretty much the goal here. Now, I don't see any way for them to break through this here setup. I want to actually have this. If they want to go down and attack these guys again, I am fine. Good, well, let's start working on the entrenchment of these units potentially. And any other unit in the vicinity. Enemy just very, very passive here as well. For whatever reason. Right. With this encirclement being ready, two, three, four, 5. I'm never gonna encircle them basically. So I need total of 3 units to encircle that too. But I ain't gonna finish these guys off with just 2 units. So I'll just keep it like this. That'll be fine. I have plenty of time anyway, and I don't really care about that marginal prestige bonus that I'll get for winning a little bit earlier. Okay, I'm probably best off just clearing out these outer defensive lines first. Maybe I could have made them surrender. It would have been better, I think. But this will do the trick, and as I should have used the artillery. As I stated already earlier, this campaign branch will end after this mission. They'll be at 6 out of 11, so not the most amazing. But I haven't seen... Let's actually move you here. It will take quite a while before I get to Volkov, and to be fair, I rather... Actually, let's just give you elites for now, so... That boat is a bit annoying. They only have anti-aircraft all the way in the back. It's just mostly infantry out here. Okay, well, that's gonna take a while. We'll get there. Yeah, they seem to be completely static. I'll wait one more day, one more day I think indeed, before I finish them off. And move to Volkov. Man, those bunkers are pretty rough, actually. Okay. They're also not suppressed enough. Let's get you into the entrenchments. And let's start going after some of that infantry. That ultimately didn't help too much, but they can no longer attack. So let's get these guys out there too. And yeah, sure, they're encircled. Technically, this could be okay. Ooh, very nice. And each subsequent turn it's gonna be easier. Or at least there's less chance for damage. Let's rebase the rest of my fighters. And not you guys. You're fine. Okay, I've done everything I wanted to, except try that and start softening up the outer units. Enemy probably as passive as they were before. Yeah. Can't see that. And now I do need to get the recon back out there because I need the recon in this particular hex to encircle that. Pioneers, go and finish off that bunker or the Dicker Mox. Okay, that's gone. Let's try to finish off the bunker that way. Excellent. Now, let's get these here pioneers to move in there. Just give them elite replacements for now. There are not too many areas where I can attack at the same time anyway. Although this might be one where success, or at least some damage, is still expected. Excellent. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I don't think the enemy has any aircraft anymore, but should be fine. Bombers. I do remember that they had some, I think, all the way back there. 1, 1, 2, 3. So this would be the only possible target, and of course the cruiser. They will always deal damage as if it's at full strength, though. I kind of forgot about that. But I might be able to finish off the cruiser. That'd be nice. And I'm getting some XP. And they will be able to... Hopefully if I destroy them, they will not be able to do a whole lot of damage there. Alright. There we are. And before these guys can get into anti-tank mode, I will at least attack them once. And because they will get 5 suppression due to this guy and being encircled, they will have only 2 strength points left. I can already attack, that's also fine. There we go. Alright, good. Next up. Take the first Leningrad hex. Attack. Moving here. Burn them. There we go. Recon to the back. Move in artillery. Tank back. These guys are gonna go to Schlieselberg. Try to wreak some havoc there. Meanwhile, I'm best off get against as many units as possible in the entrenchments, because that will get them less damage from the enemy light cruiser. Okay, well, I don't think a recon is very efficient at dealing damage there. Right, that sucks. But oh, okay, the weather is good. Should be spotting that light cruiser. Okay, it's almost down. They're at 5 now, so they'll go to 10 on the next turn. Let's at least take that airfield as well. I didn't get that much prestige actually during this map. Didn't get that many surrenders, and the enemy also didn't have that many units to surrender. They had 2 KVs, but that's practically about it. So not overly impressed with my gains there. Okay, that's a tough cookie. However, the one thing that's a problem is that they can go around and then attack artillery from that side. So let's not do that, but let's keep you here. As for now, they'll be able to survive. That's not a problem. I have to be careful that I need to take the airfield before grabbing the last hex, though. Sure, we won't destroy it now, but no. Okay, well, next... They still have 7 units, so quite a lot. Okay. They are not gonna retreat, so I'm gonna... Yeah, I'm still gonna move up though. Because... And they'll go to 4... But the biggest... Well, it's not a really big goal. But... My goal is to push forward just in general, and... This is probably the best way to do it, even if I'm exposing myself a little bit here. The good thing is that once I've taken Schlesselburg, I can use the Flamme also to attack up there, so... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can make them surrender if I want. They'll go to 14 on the next turn anyway. Yeah, they can give repairs all they want. Okay. Take that. That would allow me to start shifting some of those onto that area. Ideally, alright, that's very annoying, but can you go in there? Yes, you... Wait, I can't. No, I need to have the artillery as backup. Okay. Well, they will retreat, even if they take hardly any damage. Now, at this point, I can also start sending tanks in there to start encirclements, potentially, because I've taken their supply hex. Still need to take that port as well, but I think we are looking quite well here. So still Okay. Yeah, their recon units are ridiculous. Well, actually any unit, but like 12 damage, a heart attack on a B-A-10 is absolutely ridiculous. But I guess it's something that we have to take into consideration. Let's go in here first. Take another damage, of course. Let's just keep pushing either way. It's a bit of a pity you have to take so many casualties at the end, but we'll manage. And now that... okay, there's still an anti-aircraft mode, so I can't actually bomb. Well, I'll just repair those pioneers. And nothing. Overrun. I have initiative. So another overrun. Then grab my bomber. You can't reach it. Grab this bomber. Attack. No luck. Okay. That's fine. Let's still shell you though. Well, let's get another overrun. Shell them. Attack. Don't you have another overrun? Oh, they have no ammo. Okay. Fair enough. So... let's attack. Okay. The thing here is that I could technically either try to kill all of them, which gives me a lot of experience on units for which it does not matter, because I'm not continuing with this playthrough anyway, or at least the northern playthrough, because it will lead to the road to Moscow, which is the exact same mission you go through to as the road to Kiev. And I'm gonna use my Army Group Center playthrough as the playthrough that will go to Moscow anyway, ultimately. Because the way this game works is like, at the start of Barbarossa, like you're following this road, and at the start of Barbarossa you come to an injunction, and there are 3 different roads. And you can take either of those 3 roads, but all 3 roads will all come together anyway after, let's just say, 3 kilometers. They will all converge regardless and become one road again at Moscow and then continue along its path. So even though you can split, they always come back together, and in this case that's at Moscow. So even though I want to explore the other roads, ultimately I can only take 1 out of 3, and I'm not going to play like Moscow 3 times with 3 different, slightly different corps. I think that's not worth it. Anyway, I think the Nibelwerf actually performed reasonably well. Let's take the last hex and get victory. Alright, let's review the battlefield. So, I scraped together a little bit of prestige. Not too much though, although I did get all the objectives. So, basically the only 2 tanks were down here. Now, if you knew that beforehand, you might have wanted to maneuver your way into capturing these. And then you might have gotten slightly more prestige. But because Novgorod is a supply hex and Leningrad itself, like right in the center, is also supply hex, there are just not that many units that you can surrender. Maybe you can do that at Luga. I do think you have the time for that there. So then I guess you can scrape together a bit of extra prestige, but then I would wager you'd be at 6,500 compared to where I was at the start, which would have been fine. I think that I talked about this at the start. If the scenario's design was in such a way that there would be Finnish forces up here in the north, on this area, something like that, and then you could actually surround them, I think it would make a lot more sense. Also to take Chudovo and Volkov earlier, or Schliesselburg, because now you have no incentive to cut them off, and that's a bit weird. Like, it's actually better to assault them from the start and not cut them off, even though both the briefing states that this is a good idea, and that's what historically happened. So I think that still doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, even though it's a comparatively easy mission. There aren't that many armored counterattacks, which I think are the most dangerous. The units in Leningrad are completely static, I guess, except for that recon unit. They didn't try to counterattack even, so that's also pretty weak. You just, if your method logically go through it, you should not have any trouble really. They don't counterattack. Yeah, sure, you're taking a bit of damage on your pioneers, a little bit, but you can barely avoid that. That's near impossible to prevent. So yeah, that was it. And my how I felt about this mission. I guess I get a bonus of 15%, so 4.5. Like, that's the problem with the bonus right now. Like, I'm 5 turns early, and that means that for the remaining prestige that I'll get, so for turn 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30, so it's 5 times. I get 5 times 30, which is 150, but with the additional bonus, I get 4.5 extra for 5 turns. So, that's 22.5. I'm finishing the scenarios 5 turn earlier, and I'm getting 22.5 prestige more than I would have if I finished it on turn 30. Which means that I have literally no incentive to finish it early, and if I were to continue with my playthrough, I would purposefully not take this hex and just continue getting kills and experience on my units by finishing off these infantry, which is something that the developers actively try to prevent, because they want you to finish early. They want you to get a prestige incentive to do so. But on the higher difficulty, that prestige incentive is not there. Like, I'm much better off getting more experience on my units and attacking these guys, getting kills, and making sure that my units are stronger. That's much better than 20 prestige, which frankly I don't really need at this point. Yeah, I need to get to 10k, but I guess you can get there regardless in the next mission in Moscow, maybe? Or I don't even know if you need to have 10k after Moscow already, like whether they take it at Moscow and Stalingrad, or only at Stalingrad, so I don't know whether I need 20k or 10k either. And that's why I think that transparency is a bit weird. Or they don't have a lot of transparency whether you need that prestige, where you need that prestige. So on one hand, I want to spend my prestige in order to get my units stronger, but on the other hand, I want to not spend my prestige. I need to hoard it to somewhere, get that 10k. And I would have liked seeing a bit more transparency about that, but well. Either way, Kiev will be up next. I will be playing first Kiev North, then Kiev South, so that means that we'll have the same mission almost twice, but because the southern branch leads to Rostov, I still need to play both, or I will play both. They're slightly different, so I will also go over those differences, and we'll see how both of them go. I have a pretty interesting strategy in mind for Kiev, so we'll see how that will work out. Either way, that was Leningrad, so the northern path is now complete. Thanks for watching, take care, see you next time, bye bye.